Good morning, brave awakened ones. It's Veronica of Higher Realm Holistics, certified holistic integrative health nurse, medical empathic intuitive, spiritual counselor and guide. And I do have a degree in psychology, certified, licensed, and degreed in everything that I say. Usui Reiki master, also certified in tapping, and author of the children's book, How the Caterpillar Flew, designed to help you awaken the hidden potential in your young one. And first I need to say thank you to my subscribers, to my Patreons and my supporters. Thank you guys. Thank you. And I also need to make a correction because I've just been so off on my dates and everything. Today is the 30th, Wednesday. I double checked, okay? Excuse me. But yeah, I did make a change. So I need to make a correction when it comes to my healing Reiki tapping EFT circles that I'll be having every week in February. That is going to start Saturday, February 2nd. I'd said Wednesdays because that's how I used to have it on Wednesdays, but I decided to change it to the weekends because I'm hoping more people would join in because of the times that we're in to help out more folks. So you could pay and register on my website, higherrealmholistics.com. And it's about releasing, rejuvenating, and restoring your energy. That is what we're focusing on, okay? And that's going to be the focus throughout February. And on Sundays in February, I will be doing a 4-part series on the Kabbalion, okay? It's 4 parts, so it's $44 each part, okay? And it's what is it, 171, I think, for all 4, okay? And we'll be using the Kabbalion to delve into the 7 Hermetic principles, which I have been living by, to learn how to build our pockets of heaven, our 5D on earth. Okay, so if you're ready to make that move, you can make that move along with me on Sundays in February. So you could, see how you like it by just purchasing one day. And if you like it, you could purchase the rest of it, and join me for the rest. But I'll be doing it every Sunday, okay? And it's 4 parts because that's not something I can do in one sitting, and each day, each one I'm doing is 2 hours. So please make the time. And when you sign up, I will be sending you a version of the Kabbalion Word format that you could print out so you could take notes, because I feel it's very important to take notes. Okay, so we could go back. Okay, and of course you could always order sessions with me at higherrealmholistics.com, private sessions. And I do have sessions, healing sessions and counseling sessions in my office in North Miami Beach under my big copper crystal pyramid. Now this video I am making to bring you guys, to bring awareness to what is going on in the cosmos right now. The most important thing that I feel is going on right now for us. And it's been really hitting me strong and hard, and I'm happy for it. You feel very depressed, but it's because it's Chiron, the wounded warrior, in Pisces, and Neptune's in Pisces right now. And I know Pluto's around there too. They're all lined up. And that's to drudge up anything that's holding you down right now, any wounds that needs healing, that's going to keep you from leveling up. Yeah, it's about deep, deep wounds that need to be healed, deep fears. And it was such a deep, very subconscious fears. It was such a subconscious fear. I just started tapping, just to bring it up. And I fear. I was just tapping, and then bam, it came up. It's like, blah, it came up. And I'm going to share my fear with you guys. And it is deep. It is very deep. And I had a great breakthrough, but of course you keep going, you keep going. I'm going to keep going throughout the week. No matter how I feel, oh, I got my breakthrough. No, I'm going to keep going till I really feel cleared out. My deep wound has to do with my finances, because it don't make no sense that, you know, I should be broken anyway whatsoever, right? But I'm like, okay. And I was told and shown, you know, what I'm supposed to be doing, how I'm supposed to be doing it, where my money's coming from and all that. I'm like, okay, something's blocking me. And then when I did it, it came up that, you know, I have a deep fear of fame and fortune. And a deep wound is what caused that fear. And the deep wound that caused that fear was the fear of, if I have fame and fortune, if I have money, if I'm known, if I start to be known for my gifts, that I'm going to be harmed. That I'm going to be harmed. And I kept hearing, it's unfounded though, because it always turned out for your highest and best good. So you should not fear it. But the wound happened as I was growing up and having to hide who I am and what I could do. Having to constantly hide everything about myself because people would physically harm me. I've mentioned before, I grew up in an Italian and Jewish neighborhood, few Filipinos, a couple of Hispanics sprinkled here and there in New York. And it was horrific. It really was. I went to a Catholic school all through college, from first grade all through college, Catholic school. And the religious always the worst. The religious always the worst. It always seems like Christians and Catholics are horrific. I got treated better by the Jews than I did by the Christians and Catholics. And then the Muslims started coming, and a Muslim man actually saved my life from my mother almost killing me in the street. So I hold no grudge against them. But I don't hold a grudge against anybody, actually. But the wound came from growing up and having to hide myself, having to hide my intelligence, having to hide my artistic abilities. And yeah, that's my work back there. All of this is my work. Even that chair is my work. All of this is my work that I did by hand. Yeah, one of the most horrific times was in the fourth grade, or was it sixth grade? Fourth grade, Mrs. Campo. Yeah, fourth grade. It was myself and this little white boy. We were the last two in the math bee. And I lost on purpose because the kids started booing at me and throwing things at me and saying, effing nigger, she's cheating, even though the teachers are yelling and stuff like that. I threw it. I acted like I gave the wrong answer on purpose. And later my teacher pulled me aside and she was really angry. She goes, why did you do that? I know you knew the answer because you started saying that and you changed your mind. Why'd you do that? I said, because I don't want to get hurt. And she's like, oh, you can't be scared. But I even, you know, she's not the one who has bigger boys taking her jump rope and making a noose out of it and saying they're going to hang you, and having a priest standing right there, not saying a fucking thing. And then when you whip those boys' ass, you're the one who ends up going on detention and getting in trouble and then getting and beaten at home on top of that for whipping the boy in the first place, who's going to hang you with your own jump rope. So, you know, that's how I grew up. But I also said, you know, the dark, they have a target on your back. Bullseye, right on your back from the time you're conceived. There's a target on your back. And I've mentioned in the past, yeah, even my mother, when she was 8 months pregnant with me, my dad's mistress tried to murder her, tried to throw her off a cliff. She was saved. So it's like, yeah. So yeah, I recoil at the thought of it, and I hide myself. Even when I put out that I was going to do the teachings of the 7 principles, there's somebody that came on, a troll, who was extraordinarily vicious, called me an idiot, was calling me all these horrible things, about 10 nasty comments. I kept deleting, and he's like, why are you deleting my comments? Are you scared that I'm telling the truth about yourself, that you're going to be exposed? I mean, but that's how it is. But that's the devil. I could feel the dark and the evil in him. And I even went on his YouTube profile. Of course, there was nothing there. Because just dark and evil and wicked and want to stop you. So I had to tap through that. And I'm going to keep tapping through that. Because I know I am blocking my own fortune. I have been blocking my own fortune, literally. Been blocking it from those wounds. And I'm here to tell you, this is the week to up until the 3rd of February. Yeah, this is the week to heal those wounds because of where Chiron is in Pisces and Neptune. And of course, I was born on 29 degrees of Pisces, where Chiron is on 29 degrees of Pisces. So I'm getting whooped, but it's a good whooping. It's a whooping that I need because we need to get this out so we could start building our pockets of heaven on earth. There's no way I'm going to be able to do it unless this deep ass wound is healed, where I don't fear. And I should not fear for myself, because you know what? It is an unfounded fear, because even though they've come after me, even recently, even though they come after me, like when I was in New York and that director had no idea I was black. The manager didn't know I was black who hired me for surgery, for the surgery contract in New York over the summer. And then immediately tried to set me up and say I sedated a patient, abandoned a patient, blah, blah. I did all this shit. Tried to not just get me fired, but get me to lose my license. But it turned around, worked out for my best, because I got paid for a full contract, was only there for a couple of weeks, and got paid for a full 3 months, and was able to start doing these videos and start really delving into sharing everything I've learned spiritually. That never would have happened if that bitch didn't come after me. And then I was guided step by step what to do, and was told, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is what you have to do now. Don't worry, you'll get paid at the end of it. You'll get your recompense. And I sure did. So that's what I keep being reminded of, that even though they come after me, someone may come after you for your harm, because how you're vibrating and that you are in love, that it's going to be turned around. It's literally like, I made that diagram that Thoth showed me, like the polarity, like you have on this side, on the right is the positive, the light, the love, and on the left is the dark, fear. And here comes the fear. You're here and they're shooting at you. You have to remember what they're doing crosses this barrier, bing, into the light of love, and is transmuted. Oh, beautiful. My God. It's transmuted. Here's the fear that's shooting at you that's supposed to hurt you. You pass the neutrality point into love, even if it's 51%, but I'm like up here somewhere. So boom, it passes. So guess what? It's transmuted. That's alchemy. Alchemy. It's transmuted into love, into a weapon of, their weapon of hate turns into a weapon of love. And you catch it, bam, catch that sucker, and you use it for love, which is what happened to me. She was looking to get me to lose my license. Did all that. I exposed her for who and what she was to everybody. And then on top of that, got paid for it via the universe. Got paid a full 13-week contract after doing only a couple of weeks, while I was busy making my videos and coming up with programs and doing all that stuff, and writing my book and doing my drawing, my illustrations, and bam, I caught it, transmuting into something amazing. So my oversoul had to remind me of that you know, everything they're throwing at you from the dark end, you're catching it on the light end, and you're transmuting it. You're catching it, you're transmuting it, and that's going to grow and grow and grow. And I'm supposed to be catching something real huge so I can transmute it and build my pocket of heaven, my several pockets of heaven I'm supposed to do, which is pretty much on the macro scale, not on the micro. This is micro for me, going really macro. But I must heal that wound, which, as you could hear from what I'm saying, started to heal. Okay? And yeah. So use this time to heal your deep, deep wounds. And yeah, I was reminded just how important my work is by showing me an image of this teenage boy that I saw in Haiti. Can't talk about him without crying. It was soon after the earthquake, and I was on a medical mission, and we're on a bus, and we're driving by this part of town, and I remember staying in that part of town, and it was beautiful, and there were markets everywhere, and it was hustling and bustling, and to go by and to see everything crumbled, and it was awful and dirty. And there was this boy, he was a teenager, and I begged him to stop the bus because I was like, oh my God. He was sitting there crying, just the despair. And he was like the same age as my son, and his clothes were so tattered, and they were like, he looked like he was wearing clothes for a 10-year-old, but he was tall and gangly. He reminded me of my son so much. I was like, oh my God, please stop. They're like, what are you gonna do? There's thousands, there's tens and thousands of him there. What are you gonna do? We need to get where we're gonna get to so we could come and help people. I'm like, I gotta help him. But of course they couldn't stop the bus. We kept going. But, you know, people like us light workers, we can't allow our fears to get the better of us. We have to overcome them. And something else that lit a fire under my ass was my best friend. In all her well-intentions, you know, she's been my best friend since the 2nd grade. She's a light worker, but she has recoiled through her own fears, okay? And she, I told her what happened with that job, with that terrible physician just cursing at everybody, and me leaving and not going back and knowing that I have no business being there anymore, because that's not where I belong. And she was like, my God, what are you going to do? She went into full panic mode. She's like, what are you going to do? She goes, you know, just take it. You just got to catch up for the time that you missed, that, you know, that you were taking care of your mom. You got to catch up. You got to catch up. You know, I don't have the money to help you anymore. And you got to go. And I'm like, you know, it's just how it is. You know, she's a teacher. And she's like, it's just how it is. You know, that's just how they are. You know, it's not the first time you met a doctor like that. I was like, it's not, but it wasn't a situation where he was the owner and he was the last stop and the director. You know, at least I always had somebody to go above them to shut them up and shut them down. This guy had carte blanche on who he could abuse. And there lies the problem. Giving these darker people, these people devoid of love, carte blanche. And people just standing there going like this, yes, yes, doctor, because he has MD behind his fucking name. You know, and not to say that all doctors like that, because I worked, that's why it was so hard for me to leave my last job to go to New York, to go to my calling, because I knew I had to go there. Because I worked with some amazing doctors. There's one doctor, you know, I used to call him a unicorn. I said, there comes my magical unicorn. Because he would actually pay attention to see that if there was an isolation sign. He would actually wash his hands. And he would put on isolation stuff and not use dirty shit on the next patient. That's a magical unicorn in the medical world. And there was another one I called my sweet tea. His last name started with T, and I called him my sweet tea because he was so freaking sweet. You know, so they're out there, and he was a surgeon. Usually they're the biggest pricks, but he was a surgeon. He was, not only that, he looked like a Ken doll. So you would think somebody that amazingly beautiful, gorgeous, had the softest voice and was just the sweetest guy, almost to a fault. I would have to like light a fire under his ass and go like, get angry, do something about it. I've pinched him a few times, like, ugh. He's like, why are you doing that? I said, to get you upset so you can do something. That's how sweet he was. So there's plenty of sweetness out there. But when the egos run away, they run away. So my best friend was begging me to go back or go try another place. And I'm like, no. And it made me even angry. I was like, and it's a righteous anger. It's like, no. I said, this is why the world is fucked up the way it is. Again, if I don't resonate with you and I don't resonate with you, and yes, I use expletives once in a while. I said, this is why the world is so fucked up the way it is. Because people sit there and allow themselves to be abused for money. And I know the curse is broken, the tide has turned. So it's up to me. God has opened up the cosmos for us to get our blessings, to be blessed, and to get what we need. The cosmos are opened to do it to the nines for us. And it's me blocking it through my own wound. And heal. I need to heal and get past my own fears. It is me. I take full responsibility for that because of my past. And, you know, needing to understand that I am on the other side. I am on the right hand of God, as Jesus would say it, you know, the love side, and whatever the dark throws at me, it passes that barrier. I am on the other side. I am going to catch that shit and transmute into something amazing and of love and for the highest and greatest good of all. So she's begging me to go back there and be abused. You know, I'm like, I was there for 5 hours and I walked out like this. He made the male nurse cry. And he's like, oh, I'll get over it, don't worry. And everyone's like, oh, you know, he hates you today, but love you tomorrow. He goes, yeah, I know. He was like this yesterday. Yeah, what the fuck? I'm going to do that for some money? Oh, no. Yeah, my bills need to get paid. And yeah, my son started school and I didn't have money to give him and his computer's busted and all that shit. But you know what? That's because I stopped my own blessings from coming in. But now no more. I'm using Chiron in Pisces on 29 degrees. This is it for this week. And Neptune, and healing those deep ass wounds and fear. I'm throwing that shit up. I'm healing it. You know, and for my webinar, I'm going to throw that in too. We're going to heal that. We're going to heal those fears also. I was like, man, on it, because I thought, you know, everybody has a personal thing, but I could come up with some real good generalized tapping. And on top of that, I'm going to be Reikiing you people while we're doing that. Yeah, we need to do that. In fact, I'm going to, you know, even though this is the prime time to do it, it is throughout this season. It's throughout the end of February. So March, it's like pretty much, if you didn't heal it now, you're going to have a darn of a time, because the energies aren't going to be there anymore come March to do this healing. Mercury goes in retrograde. It goes retrograde in Pisces, and I'm a double Pisces. Right on my birthday too. The day after my birthday goes retrograde. Oh. So yeah, so try to get it in right now. So yeah, we're going to, on top of the rejuvenating and revitalizing and yeah, releasing the fear, we're going to throw that in. So yeah, I hope my little story here helped you guys, and work on that deep wound, that deep core wound, the thing that has been holding you back the most. Bring it up, you know, and tapping's a great way to do it. That's the way I've always done it. I did it to get through my childhood trauma, and didn't think of that as the childhood trauma. I knew it was traumatizing, but I didn't know to what extent and how it was holding me back. Let's put it that way, until I started tapping on it yesterday, and it came up pretty good. Okay. So again, you can register for my webinars on my website, higherrealmholistics.com, as well as private sessions. And of course, you can get my book, How the Caterpillar Flew to ignite the hidden potential in your little ones. Okay, that you know, beautifully illustrated hardcover book. Ooh, look at Butterfly seeing her hidden potential. Awesome. And her little caterpillar friends. Okay, and again, I do live sessions in my office, North Miami Beach, Florida, and also I offer Zoom video conference, or you could do phone if you're shy. Okay, all right, Lady V out. Talk to you guys soon, and yeah, dig deep and heal. All right, now's the time to do it. We already got this. We won, now we got to get it. Victory.